I've been doing this whole thing with no sound. Zero sound. Thank you. Hey, guess what? I'm going to turn the comments on. I would have probably known this from 10 minutes ago when I started this. You got to be kidding me. All right. Anyway, we're aware of the sound issue, and we fixed it. And I tell you what, Meredith, we're still live. We're still live in here.
See that?
Yeah, no, I see it now, and I know. Hey, it happens. Happens to the best of us
really
and the worst of us.
You're doing great.
Hey, what I was saying, though, hopefully you guys were following along. We've got, hey, you saw the stuff and you guys can read it, right? Gusts over 40 miles per hour. Man alive. I promise. I'm a professional. All right, here we go. Sound issue fixed. Goodness gracious. Oh, man. Oh, Gary, come on now. You're confusing names. Chill out a little bit, man. Confusing names. All right, so here we go. And we even talked. Gary, come on now. You got to listen. So, all right, let's get back into it here. You can read the comments here. You can see Gary. I'm not going to put his comment on there. But all right, so what we're talking about here, now that you can actually hear me, you can see what's going on. We've got this northwest wind that takes over. You know what? I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go back to the beginning. This is where we are this evening. I can't believe I just wasted 10 minutes. So this is what we have. We've got that wind, that west wind that's going to try to take over. It's bringing around that colder air from Canada. If you could read my lips, that's what I was telling you earlier. So here's the tomorrow afternoon. It's not a southwest wind. Even though we're getting a southwest wind today, it's coming from Canada if you follow it all the way around. So that's what we have coming around. It changes more out of the west for later on tomorrow. And that's when we start to see overnight tonight that squall really trying to set up there. I want to go all the way forward. I'm going to dive into this, but this one's not really handling tomorrow's event very well. It is, however, going to give us a good idea of what's going on Saturday, which was where we're going to get a break. And then again, Sunday. You see that? That's Sunday morning, our next wave, our next system wrapping up and trying to pull into here. But I'm not necessarily expecting a bunch of snow with this. We want this low to be a little bit farther southeast. It should be far enough north to where we'll work in some warmer air, but we're still going to get some snow out there for sure in some spots, probably Saturday night, Sunday morning. All right, let's go back a little bit. Let me walk you through this here. If you were watching Good Morning Cleveland this morning, we were in the 50s. Now we've got 30s and low 40s. I said we'd be in the 30s by midday, by noon, and we're already almost there. Some of us are already there in Cleveland. Your next update will be in the 30s. Wind chills right now in Cleveland at 28. 28 degrees is what it feels like. It is windy. It is cold. It is not great. At least we're dry. At least we've got some dry time. There's your gusts. Look at these numbers. 42 in Medina, 38 in Cleveland. Those gusts are around 40. They were up to, 45 or so earlier around like the islands. Those could easily pick up again later on this evening, and they likely will in spots, mainly along the lakeshore, pick back up to about 50. There's your 30s taking over. Man alive. 50s 6 hours ago. Not going to see 50s. Probably won't see 40s again for about a week or so. So, yeah, here's the colder air coming in here. It's windy. It's colder. We continue this drop. Here's your, let's see if we can do this. Here's the hour by hour for the next 12 hours. Look at those numbers. That means later on this afternoon, we're going to be tracking some snow working in here. And I do expect it to be snow, and I do expect it to stick on those bridges and those overpasses. All right, futurecast. There's 2 o'clock. There's our next little wave rolling through. If you could hear me earlier, which you couldn't, then you'd know that I'm tracking this out. This right here is our next little batch. This is what I'm watching for later on this afternoon and evening. This little pocket of snow pushing out of Lake Michigan. This little area right there, that's what the models are picking up on here for later on today. So we'll put that in motion. There's that next little push, and we'll be in the lower and middle 30s, so that'll be snow. We'll go to the evening hours. It cools off another couple of degrees. It's not like crazy cold tonight. We should still hold on to like upper 20s and low 30s because we've got the clouds and we've got this wind still hanging around, but that's kind of where we're at, near freezing essentially. So I expect this to all be snow overnight tonight. We'll go into, I think this rolls, this will roll all the way through tonight. You see that lake effect set up? Should be a west wind. should be a west wind. You notice it says right here, west-southwest, gusting to 45. That's for most spots across the area, and that's what I do expect to kind of hang around for a majority of the day tomorrow, that southwest push to hold a lot of this up into that primary snow belt. If you're inland, if you're in Akron, if you're south, if you're anywhere where you're not in the primary snow belt, then don't expect snow with this tomorrow. This is only a primary snow belt type of event. Once we get into late Thursday, though, like Thursday night into Friday, I think those southwest winds kind of relax. You can see them here. They shift more out of the west, maybe even northwest off the lake, and that might be just enough of a push. I was talking about it this morning to maybe push some of that, not necessarily one band, but it might break it up, spread it out a little bit, a little more of a broad brush approach. Won't be as heavy, but it'll be a little more widespread, so a little more impactful. So whenever we're talking about it, Connor, Canton to tomorrow and Friday, probably not going to have much snow, if really any at all, Connor. So you should be fine. Talking about Canton, you're far enough inland. Maybe a couple light snowflakes, but you shouldn't be bad tomorrow. It's going to be cold and windy, cold and pretty gusty, but it shouldn't be bad. Let's pull in this forecast for you. Let's pull in the snowfall numbers. This is what you want to see, right? Canton, trace, not much at all. Not much at all. 1 inch, maybe. Once you get a little bit farther north, you'll get up into that 2 or 3. And this is this out right here, this is a very kind of it's not certain just yet. If we get that northwest push late Thursday into early Friday, then we'll get in on maybe that secondary snow belt, might try to get a couple inches on Friday. If not, it just stays dumping on that primary snow belt, and that's where you get your 12 or more inches out there. Zach, North Olmsted, you're kind of right on the cusp. I wouldn't expect much tomorrow, honestly. I can pull it on there for you. I wouldn't expect much tomorrow. Salting for sure. If you plow for the service departments, it's going to be cold. Bridges and overpasses might be wet, so it could be icy, could be slippery out there. But as far as like plowing in North Olmsted, I mean, you're on this west side of Cuyahoga County. Technically, you're in the lake effect snow warning, but that's just because they can't split up Cuyahoga County east and west. If you're on the west side, you would not be included in that warning. If you're on the east side, then yeah, and it just kind of takes the whole county up in there. I don't issue the warnings. We just kind of use them essentially to verify what we're talking about. And here we go. Here's our map, 6 to 12, and there's a plus if I get out of the way, 6 to 12 plus. If some spots by Friday night in that primary snow belt, Burton, Chardon, if you got 18 inches, I would not be surprised. All right, so it's 11:27. I am so bummed that my microphone wasn't working for the first 10 minutes, but I had 20 minutes to hop on in here real quick and do a little Facebook and YouTube live. I'm out of time, though. I got to go get a suit on. I got to go get dressed. I'm doing the noon newscast. We got to record some stuff beforehand and update the webs and stuff like that. Kind of probably, Canton, you're 1 rather. Let me actually... You're not in that 1 to 3. I want to make sure Canton is not in there. Here, watch this. I'll put you up there. You're not. I can edit it right there on the fly. I don't want any confusion with that. So yeah, trace to 1 maybe for Canton. Jared, yeah, man, it's Jared PTSD from last year in Ashtabula. Yeah, no, for real. This isn't like that. We're not talking 60 inches. I'm not talking, feet of snow. I'm talking about maybe a foot and a half, Jared. And that includes, Ashtabula County. That's lakeside, not quite as much, but inland, once you get up into that escarpment, it's going to start cranking out some snowfall with that west wind, maybe a little bit northwest. At the inland, you're going to have a little southwest push, and it should hold most of the heavy snow to inland Geauga and Ashtabula counties. All right, with that, I got to scoot out of here. I got to get ready for the noon newscast. I'm 30 minutes away from that, so I got to get dressed. I got to put a suit on and do that. I'm going to say something very similar to what we just said, but this has been, minus the microphone issues, this has been 20 minutes. We're going to condense that to about 3 minutes for a news weathercast, and we will try to get it on there, and hopefully I won't have any microphone issues. All right, y'all, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. See you guys at noon.